Welcome, everyone. If you're new to my channel,
Mhm.
I'm Valencia, and this is Talk to Me Nice. And I have this beautiful young lady who I won't introduce. Two questions. First question is, who are you in your words?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, first and foremost, Valencia, thank you so much for having me on your Talk to Me Nice podcast. I am Jessica Gonzalez, and as you can see, I am all decked out in this beautiful sash and this beautiful crown. And the reason for
Yes, they
that,
are beautiful.
yes, yes. And the reason for that is I am the newly crowned 2024 2025 Royal Productions People's Choice Queen.
Now tell us what that means.
Yeah, so absolutely. So, as part of the pageant process, we have our platform, our national platform for Royal Productions is for goes towards domestic violence awareness.
Okay.
And so, part of the process for People's Choice is we as contestants will go out and we will ask for the vote of the people. And not only are we seeking the vote of the people, most importantly, we are seeking to raise funds that will go towards the domestic violence awareness platform. And
Okay.
so, as a result of not just the People's Choice, but being able to have raised the most funds for domestic violence awareness, I was crowned on October the 19th of this year as the Royal Productions People's Choice Queen. And I'm so honored and humbled to be able to have this title and to be able to continue to not just promote the platform of domestic violence awareness, but my own platform of empowering women veterans, which I'm sure we'll touch on at some point.
Okay. All right. So People's Choice. Okay. So who else? So you are the newly crowned People's Choice for Royal Productions. Who else
Yes.
are you?
Who else am I? I am a mother.
Okay.
I am a daughter. I am a military veteran, Air Force. I served for 20 years. Whoop, whoop.
Go
Uh,
blue.
I am a sister. I'm an aunt. I am a hard worker. I'm an overachiever, as some people might say. I'm all things beautiful. I'm all things worthy. However, I'm also all things vulnerable. I'm all things not perfect, right? Because I would be lying to myself and to everyone else in the face of this earth is I sat here and told you that I am this picture perfect person. So I am someone that's, as I like to say, imperfectly perfect.
Okay.
Someone who is just daily working to be the best version of myself because at the end of the day, I want to be able to not just be the best version of myself, but be able to be a good role model for my son and anybody else that I come across.
I love that. I love
Mhm.
that. So, for anybody who does not know, I am also an Air Force veteran. So, I'm very pumped because people be trying to come for us.
Hey,
Air
yeah.
Force is absolutely the best. But also, just real quick before I jump into this next question, just a real quick about how Jessica and I met. Everything that she says about being a hard worker and being a friend and being a helper and being this sort of activist, if you will, is absolutely true. I met Jessica at work, and she was just very open. She was willing. I mean, like, she didn't know me. I mean, for her to help me out was a little bit more work on her plate to kind of show me the ropes, and she was so open to doing that. And she's just a great person to work around. And then once I started to getting to know her, I found out some of the great things she was on. I was like, wow, you should come on the podcast. I would love to have you on a podcast. So that's how we met. So she is everything that she says she is. I can definitely vouch for that. And I'm so appreciative that she would take time out of her busy day to come and talk to me.
Yes, absolutely.
So the next thing is, I typically ask people what they need. I'm so glad that you started out the who you are as reflective. You're vulnerable. You're this. You're that. I love that because we are those things, and those are the things that we tend to leave out when we introduce ourselves.
Mhm.
And so I always like to ask people. after I ask them who they are in their words, what do you need, Jessica? Like if you had to think about, what you need is a hard a hard question because most
Yeah.
people they're not used to asking. But I
Hmm.
really want to get people in the use of thinking about what they need and also being able to verbalize what they need. So what do you need?
Yeah. So, I mean, to that effect, I, for the longest time, had a very hard time being able to express what is it that I need, right? Because I was so, honed in on what everybody else needed, right?
Your mom, how could you not be?
I'm a mom, I was an airman, right? And in my
Yeah.
time as an airman, I was a first sergeant, right? So my job was taking care of everyone else. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? How can I
Mm-hmm.
help you? Right.
Right.
And
Yeah.
in the midst of that entire process, it's kind of like, wait a second, what about me? What do I need? And I was going through it. There were
Yeah.
so many different things that I was going through. I could write a book. So when I
Sure.
think about it now, what is it that I need when I circle back, when I hit that rewind button a little
Mm-hmm.
bit and really hone in on what do I need? I need a lot of things, but most importantly, I need grace. I need understanding, compassion, empathy, and sympathy as well, because I've not had that the way that I really need it.
Yeah.
I've come across people in my life where, they made it seem like they were genuinely concerned about me and, hey, how
Yeah.
can I help you? But they really truly weren't there for me.
Yeah.
They were just there for themselves. What
Yeah.
can we do to help Jessica to make it seem like we're helping her? But at the end of the day, it's all about them, not
Yeah.
so much about me.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when I think about what do I need, I need all of those things that I've mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
because like I said, I'm so imperfectly perfect that sometimes I get so lost in the process and I just isolate myself. I got that social meter that goes done,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
I don't have somebody there to be able to give me these things that I need. People try, but those people that are trying are really not trying.
I that's why I always like to ask this question, and it's always refreshing when I talk to people. Not that I want to necessarily force anyone to answer the question in a certain way, but it's always refreshing when I hear someone
Mhm.
say that they need grace. I think that we all need grace. I think that on top of needing grace, we need to understand that grace is something that we should automatically extend. So when we talk about respect to me is a form of grace. So
Mhm.
just like to me, I believe that everyone deserves respect. Like I want to be respectful. I don't have to agree with you. We don't have to say the same, have the same views, but I want to be respectful.
Right.
Um, so grace is a thing that I do. I think that people aren't used to. If somebody cut you off in traffic. I think I saw a video the other day where there were like little snippets of like things happening. There was a guy who was driving really slow, and somebody was honking at them like, "What is your problem?" and da 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 da.
Mhm.
And then it showed 20 minutes earlier. He had lost someone at a hospital.
Mhm.
There was another scenario where it seemed like off of first, encounter that there was something that was irritating, but 20 minutes
Mhm.
you don't know what that person encountered. And I think that it's important that we kind of keep that in mind. Um, Also, I guess the question I would ask you is how prepared do you think you are to ask for help?
So that is a loaded question right there. Just, because once again, I'm so honed in on everybody else and not so much myself, right? So I am of the type that I try not to
Mhm.
burden people with my emotions and my problems, any adversity that I might be going through, right? And for 15, 16 years of my life, because I was so focused in on the mission in the military, right? And what is it that they need, right? And not and being so afraid to come forward and saying, hey, I need help, for fear that they would start to look at me very differently.
Yes.
Oh, Jessica's weak. there's no way she can do this job. There's no way she can take care of this airman. There's no way she can go overseas to, say, Japan and execute whatever it is that we need, right? And
Right.
so as a result of all of that, I just became very used to just trying to do things for myself and on my own, and not so much extending my hand and saying, help me, right? So it has gotten easier. You know, I know that there are the resources that are out there to help us, whether it's a professional, and sometimes it's just, you know, a good friend, you know, that, or someone that's been through a very similar experience to what I've been through or am currently going through, and they could be a complete stranger. But just them being able and willing to say, hey, sit down, Jess, let's talk, right? So as a result of that, you know, I have become more open with talking about the different things that I'm going through, and being able to talk to people that are not going to judge me. That's key. Because
Fear of
oftentimes,
judgment. Yep.
right, you know, oftentimes the minute you start talking, then they start judging, right? What's
Yep.
that trend that's going around right now? We listen, we don't judge,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And most of the time, people are judgy, super, super judgy. And
They
so it
are.
makes it harder for us to want to open up and talk about whatever it is that we're going through, because we don't want somebody to judge us,
It's true. It's true. It's
right?
true.
And
Yep.
so being able to find the right avenue,
Mm-hmm.
the right platform to be able to openly express what it is that I'm going through without the fear of being judged. So today I will say I am in a much better place in asking for help than I
Yay.
was back then. So
Good.
yeah.
Good. 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 Good.
I don't know if
I
I answered your question, but
No, 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 you absolutely answered my question. You know, again, I think that being able to ask for help, even when there is a situation where you might be judged, is also a thing, because it doesn't really matter if a person judges me or not. That's their opinion. And really it's their loss, or so to speak, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
If I ask for help, or if I feel like I'm being judged, then it's the onus is actually on the person. It's actually not on me. I don't have to wear that, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? And I
Mhm.
really do want us to get to that point. And that's actually how the the book and then the podcast came. So,
Okay.
I hate to do, like, it feels like cheap plugs, but I do have my book here, titled Talk to Me Nice. And that's kind of how the podcast came about. But really, me giving advice, me wanting to be the person. Like, I want to be the person. When we first met Jess, Jess, I'm asking for help. We're kind of talking. I'm like, oh, her energy is really good. We started talking on a more personal level. And what did I tell you? I said, Jess, I know you don't know me, but if you need to call me, you can call me.
Mhm. Right.
That's who I am.
Yeah.
That's who I am, because my thing is that I am experiencing some of the same stuff that everybody else is experiencing. I don't want to be judged. I want to be able to ask for, what I need. I am the person that people come to, and I show, and I'm showing up for them all the time, and I'm always afraid to burden somebody. But the reality is that, what if it's not burdening them though? I heard a different perspective, that when we don't give our friends an opportunity to be there for us, we are actually robbing them of the chance to
Right.
reciprocate energy
Okay.
that we have given them. So I think that, again, well, if we shift our mindset a little bit, then I think that that can also push us into a space where we feel comfortable asking for help. You know what I'm saying? Think
Mhm.
about it. Like, if you're always helping me, and you come to me and say, hey, Valencia, can you help? Absolutely. What you
Mhm.
need me to do, Jess? Like, I'm
Yeah.
waiting for an opportunity to return the favor, the energy, whatever it is that you've
Yeah.
done. I want to return that. And so I think that we also have to do a better job at understanding that we have to allow people to help us.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think, like, with me in particular, the reason why it's also been hard for me to come
Mhm.
forward and talk to people is because when people look at me,
Mhm.
right, based off of what they know of me, they
Mhm.
see this picture perfect, can do no wrong person, right? She
Yeah.
is motivated, dedicated. She's this overachiever, as I mentioned right at the very opening of this, right? And so whenever I stumble,
Mhm.
right, I fall, I get back up. People look at me like, who are you? What the heck is going on with you? This
Yeah.
is not the person that we know. Like, what do you mean you fell? What do you mean you failed?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're getting a divorce?
Yeah.
What
Girl.
do you mean you're getting out of the military? You're supposed to do 30 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
You
do.
know, what do you mean, that, you're going to be in this pageant? That's
Hmm.
not who you are,
Yep.
you know? And with all of those things, there were the internal and the external struggles that came with
Yeah.
it. A lot of
Yeah.
questioning.
Hmm.
Am I the right fit?
Yeah.
Am I
Of
gonna
course you
make
are.
it through? Right? Like me in a pageant? Absolutely not, right? And
Yes.
so then
You have to talk to yourself nice
right, right.
in
And
real
that's
life.
and that right there is it's a work in progress,
Yeah.
right? Because for, I'm 44. I know I may not look it, but I'm 44. But for a good part of that, right?
Uh,
I wasn't used to talking to me nice. I
yeah.
wasn't,
Yeah.
right? And so we're all a work in progress,
Yeah.
and so as time has gone on, I'm learning to talk to myself much nicer than I have in the past, and reminding myself, as I've mentioned earlier, I'm imperfectly perfect. It is okay to not be okay. It is
Yep.
okay to fall, as
Yep.
long as I don't stay on that ground too long. Pick
Yep.
myself back up, learn from that mistake,
And
learn
keep
from
it
that
moving.
particular adversity, and keep moving, right? Because people are looking at me. I got my child looking at me. I got friends and family looking at me. And I want them to see that you can overcome just about anything that life throws at you
Yeah.
if you just get back up and you keep running,
Keep it moving.
right? And knowing that it's not a marathon. I mean, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah. And
So
then you
baby
gotta
steps.
pace yourself. You gotta
Yes.
pace yourself.
And
Yeah.
and I for the longest time I didn't know what pacing was. Like, what is that?
Mhm.
I gotta do it. I gotta do it now. I gotta get there like right now. And realizing no, you can't do that. Because when you try to get to an end point too quickly, then you're gonna run into even more hurdles along the way.
Yeah.
Instead, just take it day by day, and conquer those obstacles little by little as they get thrown at you. If it causes for you to have to go on pause for much longer than you expected, then be okay with that.
Yep.
Be able to navigate that the way that it needs to be navigated. So that way, when you hit that play button again and you
Mhm.
start moving forward, then things will continue to go as smoothly as you would want them to.
This is true. This is
Mhm.
true. Okay, well, I know just to kind of I want to make sure that we don't forget this, but I know you told us about Royal Productions and the People's Choice, and you talked about raising money for domestic violence. If people want to donate or they want to get involved, how do they do that?
Yeah, so if they would like to donate towards the domestic violence awareness platform for Royal Productions, they could just go to the website. It's Royal Productions and Events by nm.com. And there is a PayPal feature in there where they can go in and donate. Now,
Okay.
if there is another avenue to contribute to the cause, I can get with you sometime after today's meeting, and I can provide that to you so that you
Okay.
can help us in pushing it along. Also, but most importantly, because sometimes it's not always about the money, right? It's about, making yourself, what's the word I'm looking for? No, just get out in the community,
Yeah.
find ways to get involved, right? I recently put together a what I call Operation Keep Them Warm drive,
Okay.
where my goal was to be able to put together 25 blessing bags for whether it's women veterans or whether it's women in a battered women's shelter. And I was able to meet that goal through the unwavering support of friends and family. And so I was able to put together the bag. And so
Okay. Yay.
within each bag, there is a throw blanket in there. There are some
Okay.
beanies, some warm socks, and gloves. And my plan is to do a drop off. If it doesn't happen this week because of timing, then next week for sure I will be doing a drop off at a at an organization. It's called the Family Violence Prevention
Okay.
Organization. And
Okay.
they branch out and they go out to the different shelters, right? Because I can't physically go to the shelter because of HIPAA and, of course,
Yeah.
privacy
Mm.
for those women. And so they're going to assist me with dropping off these blessing bags. So I'm so excited that I was able to do this. I could not have done this by myself. I mean, I could have, but I didn't want to. I wanted to,
Right.
give people an opportunity to, be able to bless someone else.
I've read somewhere that where you see success, you see collaboration. So that
Yeah.
makes perfect sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so if people want to collaborate with Miss Newly Crowned People's Choice Award for Royal Productions, Jessica Gonzalez, how do they find you?
Yeah. So if they have Facebook,
Uh-huh.
they can find me on Facebook
Okay.
under Royal Productions People's Choice winner. And it should populate. And I can also provide you with the direct link to that
Okay.
Facebook page, because I know some people are not tech savvy, and that's okay. And sometimes, the social media pages can be a little bit quirky.
Yeah.
So I will definitely provide you the link after our meeting today, so that way you can go ahead and push that out as well. But yeah, they can reach out to me through there if they would love to collaborate. Please get with me. Let's make some magic happen for those people that are in need.
I think that 2025 is definitely about being able to ask for what we need, collaboration, community, and sisterhood. I mean, that, I don't ever want to leave the guys out by any means. I've
Right.
done a podcast, titled "We Need Each Other" with
Mm-hmm.
the guys, but I know that domestic violence, it definitely can be a guy, but I know that a lot of times that is stereotypical that they're
Right.
women.
Correct.
So like I said, I think that there will be a lot of collaboration and community in 2025, and I look forward to doing some things with you. I'm so happy that I was able to meet you, even happier that you carved out some time to come and talk to me, and I look forward to everything. So before we go, do you have anything else that you'd like to share, ask, add, whatever?
Wow. So what else could I share? So this holiday season, you know, I will tell you, this holiday season has been a little bit tough for me, just because I've had some losses in the families. I lost two great aunts to cancer,
Oh,
which is
wow,
so
sorry to hear that.
unfortunate, and one of them in particular really played a pivotal role in me as a child growing up. She used to help out my mom a lot. So
Okay.
I would say this holiday season, just really what I would tell people is really embrace family. Embrace family, and it doesn't necessarily need to even be blood family.
Good.
Just embrace people,
Yep.
because we never know what people are going through. People might put on a smile all day, every day, like I do,
Yep. Like I do. I mean,
but
we all do.
that doesn't mean that they're okay. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Have those tough conversations with them, because if you know somebody well, you're going to be able to spot a behavioral change.
This is
So
true.
really, put eyes on people, spot those behavioral changes and talk to them, because this is the season where, unfortunately we lose people, whether
Yep.
it's to, medical illness, whether it's to suicide, whether you got people that are falling into huge states of depression and anxiety,
Yep.
I included. I don't even have a Christmas tree up yet. So just be there for people,
Yep.
be genuine, love on one another, and be okay with knowing that it's okay to not be okay.
It is. It is.
You know?
It's funny that we're saying introductions, but I do feel compelled to share this. And I'm not gonna say too much because Jessica still works for these people. But no, but really, I think that I've shared this probably many times on my platform, but I experience anxiety.
Mhm.
And when I think about some of the things that I've navigated, whether like we were talking about the holidays and we're talking about so many things, but when it comes to work environments, I can probably tell you that and I can ask Jess, would you say that I exhibited having anxiety or depression at work?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Because I know you, right? One, and
yep.
we have these conversations, right?
Mhm.
That simple question of how are you doing today?
Yeah.
And
And
it's
a lot of times you don't get asked that at work.
yeah, yeah.
And like you said, for fear of judgment, I am like you. I would say I'm pretty high functioning, high performing, pretty ambitious. And one, when I'm not able to put out the output that I'm used to putting out, that bothers me.
Mhm.
When I am put in certain situations, that bothers me. And we forget that. I think that
Yeah.
sometimes when you're in an organization and you have a mission, the mission is very important, but the health and well-being of the participants on that team is also
Yeah.
a thing. And I think that those
Yeah.
are things that we forget.
Yeah.
And I think that that is something that I'm a huge advocate for.
Mhm.
I don't, I'm always a voice. I'm always the
Mhm.
person who, I'm not going to sit and let and hear somebody talk down to Jessica. I'm probably going to speak up. That's just who
Mhm.
I am.
Mhm.
But yeah, so thank you for saying that. This is that season where people could not, be okay and they could still be putting on a happy face. So yes, we have to, watch out for one another and just make sure that, we're all okay. For sure.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, if nothing else, enjoy the holiday.
It's
And
true.
my hope is that, that people are able to close out their chapter 2024 the way that they envisioned it closing. If they're still working on a couple of more things that they feel that they can finish, I hope that they can get to it.
Yep.
And as we enter chapter 2025, I hope that it is everything that they wanted it to be.
Yep.
And if for some reason it's not, or you run into a couple of bumps in the road, like we've mentioned here quite a few times, it's okay.
There's always tomorrow.
Take a deep breath in, exhale. And yes, like you said, there's always tomorrow. Take the
Always
next
tomorrow.
day or the next or the next or the next to get there, but don't rush and let it be an amazing one for all of you.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
Jessica.
Yes.
You're the best.
Thank you.
All right. So if you haven't already, like, subscribe, follow the page, and follow I got a blog. Like, I don't even think that people know that I have a blog. It's talktomenice.com. You can follow me on Instagram as well at BJJ Rocks.